Last night's Monday Night Raw was a hard one at the beginning because CM Punk is injured again, tore his tricep. Don't know if it's the same one. Do you know if it was the same one that he had torn in AEW?
I don't know, but when I was watching the Rumble, it was crazy. I was watching it, and then he did a move specifically. I think remember when he was on the ropes, and then I think with Cody, and Cody was trying to get him out. One of my peers ripped his tricep the same way, doing that, and then in my head, I was like, I hope he didn't hurt himself, which I hope
Right.
it's just my past traumas, right? And then when I heard that he was hurt, I like I said, I was heartbroken. So hopefully it wasn't the same. But if it is, well, he needs to have surgery.
The yeah, the end result is he probably will have to have surgery. He will be out. I know what some people are saying, but I'm not a doctor, so don't know how long you're going to be out. Hats off to you for a very commendable Royal Rumble while you were injured and, still battling. Um, it sucks. It really and truly does. It sucks for the fans. It sucks for him. He's been through this before. He'll get through this again. I personally thought they showed clips of him getting DDT'd by Drew McIntyre. I thought he actually tore it when he got thrown out of the ring because his
Mm-hmm.
arm, if you watch when he gets finally eliminated, his arm dangles.
Oh.
And I mean, it looked bad. And I was hoping he wasn't hurt, but end result that he is. And of course, as you know, the WWE machine and professional wrestling, it continues to move forward. Punk's promo last night, man, as real can get. You have one of the top talkers in the industry of all time, and he has to go out there and address the crowd. He has just really come back to WWE. It's been a great story of, redemption, forgiveness, and wanted it to be of triumph. And all the, I feel, creative plans have to be scrapped for a lot of reasons, but of course, card subject to change due to injury. His promo was amazing because it was real. And him having to go out there, like I said, and address, because this has happened to him before as well. And
Yes.
you're going to forget about online. You're going to get people that just hate you for hating you. And, the best part about it is you don't even pay attention anymore because nobody should wish somebody being injured or you're getting what you deserve because nobody deserves to be injured. Um, his promo I thought was amazing. Like I said, because it was real. It is a setback. I always say life is just like professional wrestling. You are going to get knocked down a lot, but you got to keep on getting up and keep on fighting. Um, I just thought he handled it perfectly. I know we have some sound bites as well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there is no, it's the hardest way to say goodbye. It's the hardest way to tell people I can't do what I set out here to do. And, at times with tears in his eyes a little bit, he has to go out there and do that. Like there's so many different things you want to say because you're going to be gone minimum 4 months. And also the biggest push was for him for WrestleMania.
Yes.
It just, I loved it. And straight up mentioning people who have, he mentioned somebody who has cancer and always has a smile on the face and saying, these are the people that are the real heroes. A firefighter from Chicago, all people that he has a real experience with, um, really, really puts life in perspective when you talk about, oh, I tore my tricep and I can't go and be a professional wrestler on a big show. Um, Again, I love the promo because it was real. And I hate that it happened for my friend CM Punk, but also for the performer CM Punk. Your thoughts?
Well, I had a lot of notes.
I love it.
Um, I was moved from like minute one because of his size.
Yes.
If you get the opportunity to see this promo, I highly recommend anybody who is a professional wrestler and having gone through an injury myself and not being able to say what I wanted to say with the amount of time that he had. it really moved me because he said a lot of things that it resonated with me, and I'm probably resonating with a lot of people. It's like feeling that feeling when you have when you are so close to win for the first time, when you are so close to achieve that dream, your career dream, and it just fades away for this circumstance. It's heartbroken. I mean, he has not been able to a main event WrestleMania, and this year he felt that this was the year, but it was taken away by circumstances, right? And then when he said like this might never happen, I was just like, because of his age, because he might not, like all the other things that can happen while he's rehabbing, right? So it just put that part in perspective, because that's what everybody was talking about when he came back to WWE, was him going to WrestleMania, and this is being the first time in his career that he was going to be able to do something like this. But unfortunately, life threw him another curveball, and now he's very feeling unlucky. That's another thing he said. And yeah, like if you think about it, it's like, damn, like this guy needs to get a limpia. He needs to get like a cleanse or something, because he has not been able to stay healthy. And it's so sad. Like that's the worst nightmare from somebody coming from major injury or from major comeback, that you get injured right away. I cannot tell you, Tommy, like as a performer, like that's one of my number one fear right now, is like get re-injured. Because if you have all this team, you have all this stuff going on for you, and then boom, it's scratch, start all over again. It's like the reset button keeps being pushed. It's like, and then when he was at AEW, like he hurt his ankle and then his tricep right after he like came back from that ankle um injury. So it's like life keeps pushing the reset button, and he haven't had a break. Uh, Another point that I seriously had to stop and really think about it was he talked about his fight at UFC and all the criticism that he received during that fight, but what that fight signified to him, besides the money, besides everything else, it was like he was alive again. It was when he's talking about like the real deal situations, not injuries, and when he started talking about his friend that has cancer. um I I really identify with him, because if you have anybody that has stepped in the cage, the fear that you feel, how alive you feel, like that this is an incredible monumental thing that you probably are not going to win, but you still go for it because you want to feel that feeling. And he just drew me even more when he said that, and he talked about his friend having cancer. And I have a friend that I want to give him a shout out, Rick Bassman. He was just diagnosed with brain cancer not too long ago, and he put it
I
on his
didn't know
Facebook.
that.
Yeah, he said, when Punk said that, I stopped the video, and I started thinking like, he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. We are performers. We're complaining about these things, but there's people that they have real issues, real life and death issues, and we have an opportunity. We don't know if they're gonna have an opportunity, but they still like, with a smile on their face, they're still fighting. That they're still showing us that there is a way, that there is hope. And I feel like when he made that transition, I was like, man, like he is really trying to touch the heartstrings of everyone that has had a friend that has gone through that, or a family member. And we're complaining about our circumstances. Yeah, he said, I might not go to WrestleMania, but my friend is teaching me more about life. That this circumstance is just a bump on the road. And just like the way that he is, yes, he is hurt. Yes, he is sad. Yes, he's heartbroken, but he knows it's not the end for him. Is He talked about adversity and overcoming things in the last years, with examples of his friends with him, with people that he's worked with the firefighters and stuff like that. And I just think if that was his plan, to like make people feel empathetic for what he's going through, I think he did an amazing job. Even if you hate CM Punk, there is at one point you feel some sort of empathy. You had to. If not, you are a psychopath. Seriously.
I I don't from also knowing CM Punk, I don't think he goes out there like, man, I want people to feel sorry for me.
No.
I think he just goes out there and he talks to the people from the heart. Always has, always will. And, whether you like him or not, I mean, think about he's in Tampa. There was key moments during the promo as well. And he's like, hey, I'm a Cubs fan. And if you
Mm.
know the history of the Cubs, they for the longest time were never won the World Series and until they finally did. And he was like, there's always next year.
Next
And
year.
everybody who's a sports fan could relate to that for their team being out. Or also when there's a few where the people started the what chants. And I was just like, ugh. And when he poked fun at himself for getting, you guys saw my UFC career, right? But yes, like that was, and I was talking, I mean, like I said, I'm friends with him. I was talking to him during all that when he was training and everything. And I was like, I couldn't imagine what you're going through. I mean, you hit the nail on the head with it where you're training to fight, prepare. It's a whole other mentality, but he's doing it because he loves the UFC. And a lot of people, there's a lot of people who are, could never ever ascertain that or want to ascertain that. They would talk a big game, but never ever have, like you said, the balls to step into the cage.
It's
And I'm not just talking like UFC, like there's a lot of lower independent federations for that tough man contest. So
the level of mentality and the level of toughness that you have to have when you decide to step in a cage. It's unmanageable. Like you can even fathom getting punched in the face, and you have to dodge punches. You got to dodge kicks. You got to make sure you get choked up. Like it's a lot, Tommy. And
yeah,
it's like people don't understand like some of the reasons. Again, it's just like maybe he was trying to fight himself and like find self-respect by sticking to something like this, because it's very scary. It's like ridiculous because you don't know what's going to happen once, in wrestling. You're like, you pray that you come out like the way that you came in. Not in a fight, not in MMA. You pray that you don't look stupid, or you pray that you don't get like severe brain damage. You never know. You never know.
right.
And it's very scary. And I'm telling you, when he said that, I was like, oh man, that's some that is some strong like life events and life experiences that he's gone through, and he has been able to put everything together to really make people understand how he feels in this moment in his career, when he's again like the welcome is so warm, when people are super hot for him. They just want to see him talk, they want to see him in the ring, and boom, it's a sudden stop once more. Like, yeah, there is next year, but it's like it doesn't take away the fact that it's very hard to make this speech to people that love him and that were expecting for him to go to WrestleMania.
It's next year. You're a little older. Will the company want to take that risk that, you could get hurt again? I mean, that happened in AEW. You don't want any detractors. But like he said, when he comes back, he's going to come back and continue that dream and that journey because of real life circumstances and real life things that happen to others as well as to him. So it's in the long scheme of your life, it's a setback, and we all get hit with setbacks. And when before you would talk about like with wrestling, I know this show and also professional wrestling helps people. I know my good friend Chris Brown literally would listen to the show every day when he would go through chemo and when he was going through chemo. And he would like, man, you're making me laugh while I'm going through chemo. I have people who DM me all the time or conversations. Hey, how's your health? That I've met through wrestling, but also through this show. It helps you forget because that's what wrestling is supposed to do. Help you forget, the real world troubles. We're supposed to be an escapism for what's going on in our world.
Yeah.
So promo was super duper heavy. Unfortunately, he will be out. He will miss WrestleMania. I did not think that was coming. But again, when people are hurt, Seth Rollins, I'm one of the biggest fans of. He has given credibility to a title that was basically created and handed to him, and he has made people care about that title. I love his work. I love his promos. One thing I'm also wish WWE would talk about more, the actual accomplishment that Cody Rhodes has done. We have
Yes.
not seen this. There's 4 people who have done this in the history of wrestling since the Royal Rumble's been around. Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels, Steve Austin, and Cody Rhodes have won back-to-back Royal Rumbles. That means the company has an invested in you, and man, you're the guy. And he's also been the guy without the world title because
Yep.
everybody's who I've named has had the title. Cody has not. So that's how much we've believed and cared about this story. Seth Rollins goes out there, cuts a promo, and man, what a hard spot to be in if you're Seth Rollins. And I thought he did it excellent to get you to be like, hmm. However, the fans did not like it. The fans wanted, I mean, you heard it. You heard the people chanting no. You also heard the people chanting Roman. Um, I thought he did an amazing job. Again, another promo. He's another guy who just captivates me when he comes out there. I've loved his work as far back as Ring of Honor. Um, and he just like, there's always this it factor and presence about him. Also taking the greatest cutter in the history of getting cut. Um, loved the promo, loved the question, and I loved Cody's answer. And has me intrigued. I think Dave LaGreca literally jumped off the boat when he heard all this. And if he could have swam to Tampa, he would have. Just say, no, just finish the story with Roman. When we had Cody, when I interviewed him, I had to, because I had to get Dave. I had to just kind of see where it was because Dave has been obsessed with this and loved all of Cody's answers. You can go and listen to that on the SiriusXM app. But where he said he felt the story has to be in Philadelphia
Mm-hmm.
and with Roman. But hey, Seth threw it out there. Your thoughts?
And I mean, the
Hard
thing,
spot for Seth.
the thing of it is that I personally don't think they're gonna put the title that Roman Reigns has on Cody. I just don't think so because
Hmm.
I think they want to break Hulk Hogan's reign, and then they want to make kind of Roman like this untouchable, non like non-existing champion ever. Like this never happened before in the history of WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I mean, although I want Cody to finish the story, the original thing that he came to do. However, this title with Seth, like it needs more of to be elevated, and is the only one who has the title was Seth, and he's a fighting champion. He defends the championship, right? He actually defends the damn championship. It's just not a paper champion. And every time he defends a championship, his matches look different. And he is very, very good at what he does. And I think if Cody decides to go for this championship, he will give him a legitimacy to this title. Regardless, it will be in a way finishes some sort of story. Like his father never had a championship from WWE or WF in the back of the day. But it will mean something because Cody can definitely take this title to the next level. He'll be that workhorse champion. I mean, he's been doing it anyways without a championship. He's wrestling all the time, so I think it will be giving a lot of legitimacy to this title, which the title needs most definitely. And like now the Punk is gone, Cody will be the second one in there that have the biggest star power, as you were saying, winning uh the Royal Rumble twice back to back. Even I was surprised, to tell you the truth. I was like, dang, he did it again. It was that moment and everything. uh but it will be, I don't know, I think it will be kind of risky for Cody to pick Roman, and I know everybody wants that, but a title is a title, and I think this title he can make his his own history with this title.
To your point, and I agree, and I have never been so sold on Cody ever since where he said, I have to finish the story. When he literally looked me in his eyes, and Cody's my friend, man, and he was just like, I feel it has to be in Philadelphia. Um, if Cody faces Roman and loses, which I don't think Roman Reigns is losing this year,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
then the story ends, in my opinion, because can he always get back there? Sure. But it's going to be super duper hard. Could he be a 3-time winner of the Royal Rumble? Absolutely. No one's ever done it 3 times in a row. Would the fans turn on him? There's so many different things that that could happen. Hell, we've seen the entire landscape of the WWE change in a week. So with Cody, man, it's if they're not, because he also, if you think about it, he's beaten Seth 3 times. Why can't I just do it again? And
But
I will say this: you said that I praise Seth Rollins, rightfully so, but you also said something. He has a different match with every single body when he's challenging, which I've said this before, but I will say it again. I'll say it also publicly. Seth Rollins is this generation's Shawn Michaels, and I've seen both parts. I've lived both generations. Uh, I have seen Shawn Michaels tear it up with The Undertaker, tear it up with Mankind, tear it up with Bret Hart, tear it up with Steve Austin. And then you same thing with Seth Rollins. He will have a different match with everybody. And also like his outfits, his flamboyancy, he could turn heel in a second. He could be loved in a second. So, that's the highest praise because Shawn Michaels should be pretty much everybody's benchmark to be as good as Shawn Michaels because when Shawn Michaels was in his prime and I was blessed to see
yeah,
there was no better. So it's so interesting and Cody is just firing on all cylinders as well.
yes.
It's a hard decision to make, but because of the outcome. If you have
It,
fear or doubt, and then the other part, I don't mean to cut you off. I
yes.
apologize. The Rock. If Cody chooses Seth, then does that open the door for The Rock? I mean,
Absolutely. Like
there's also could Rock be an elimination chamber?
no, you can't throw that match away. It has to be WrestleMania. It has to be for Roman to like achieve the unachievable, like that thing that nobody ever has ever done in the history of WWE. And to your point with Seth, you cannot tell me you were not entertained of those 3 matches because those 3 matches that they had with Cody and Seth were different. They had a different story, have a same outcome but different story. So I don't think this will be any different, besides the fact that his knee is kind of messed up. But I think this will be a viable way to one, finish a story. Two, if Cody becomes the champion, to give him the legitimacy that is needed for this championship. And three, just to show again that Seth is a great worker and has, everything that he has done in the company has paid off. And the same with Cody, taking all the risks that he take, rebuilding himself and coming back to the company that, he left off a bigger star and better. It's just magic. And I think for me, like that thing that Seth said is it's about, let's not talk about your father's stories. Let's talk about your story. Right.
Yeah.
And let's talk about this. He called it the blue collar belt, the working class belt, kind of
Yeah.
like tying it in a way. And it was interesting. So hopefully they do Cody right, man. I'm just gonna say that. It's just like, just do him right, man. He's money. He's money.